to the Serenity Solutions podcast, number 45. Today I'm going to talk about consistency, a little bit, and it's going to be a bit of a mixed bag. I'm also going to talk a little bit about the fact that I was reflecting this morning on, it relates to consistency and, what I've been doing for the last 3 years with network marketing and social selling. It's become a lifestyle for sure, and just like being grateful for what we already have. And also something I've been thinking about this morning and maybe recently is being happy with what we already have, what our life is now. Because, you go into the stores, and I don't even shop that much in person, but go into the stores, often I go shopping, it's like to wear my dog out more or whatever. So I go to dog friendly stores, but still there's the Valentine's things are out right after Christmas I don't even know when they start coming out, but you know what I mean? It just jumping ahead to the next thing. What's the next thing all the time? And I think to be realistic and to stay in the present moment is also important. And that ties into consistency because one of the keys to consistency is setting realistic goals for yourself, clear goals for yourself, that you can form that habit in the 21 days that it takes to form a habit. It is 90 days to form a lifestyle that hopefully you can continue, but if you need to change it up, that's fine. But I would also say, personally, from years of experience, that it probably takes about a year before you can say you've been consistently doing something. So when people tell me they've been consistent, if it's only a week that they've done that thing, then that is not consistent. It is at least 21 days to form a habit that you're going to do, and the best way to do that is probably to tie it to something like habit stacking, we call it. If you have to remember to take your supplements or take a pill, that it's best to do it at a time where you already have that habit. So brushing your teeth at night, before or after you brush your teeth, take that medicine or take that supplement. Depending what it is, you might not want to have a protein shake with supplements before you brush your teeth, but you know what I mean. Tie it to something that you already do, or in the morning when you are getting ready for work, take your supplements. What I often do is put them out the night before. They're already on my counter, and it looks maybe not the best because they're all on my counter, but that's the way I'm going to remember to take them every single day if they're out visually so that I can see them, right? And I actually move them from the turny thing and put them on the stove so that I know to take which ones, because I take quite a few supplements. But it's just an example of being accountable to yourself and making that a consistent habit, because you're doing it at the same time every single day. And until you've tried something for 90 days, even probiotics, they say, when you go to the naturopath, they say it might get worse before it gets better. So give it time, and you have to stick it out before you can actually say whether it's working for you or not, because it does take consistency. And in business and in life and in working out, it takes about 90 days to notice what you've done for those last 3 months. Even for women, it's what you've done in the last 3 months determines how your cycle is, your menstrual cycle is 3 months later. So 90 days is a pretty important number. And I would say even longer if you really want to build something. And when you go to a gym and you go with a trainer, usually you get a year-long membership, right? But maybe not with the trainer for a year, maybe with the trainer for a month or whatever you can afford. But you can't say, like, if you go to the gym for a week and you eat salads for a week, or you eat whatever you think you're supposed to eat for a week, you can't say that you've been consistent and that you've tried your best. You have to, like, do it and it's really hard for people. I usually get, rewarded or acknowledged for my consistency, but that is because I am a very structured person. I've always been like that. I think my parents are like that as well. Definitely my dad was very structured and routine, almost like Rain Man. Like we're definitely, we want to have our habits ready, and we do like to be healthy. And I know my mom's very organized too. I don't think she's as much like of a organized freak as my dad and I have been in our lives, but it does good things though. Like, one of the things he taught me is writing down, and he really enforced it one day, write it down for me, because I don't want to be laying in bed thinking about it all night. And writing notes. And I think that he got that from my mother, because she would always leave him notes and sticky notes and things to do, like chores to do or whatever. So trained as well, nature versus nurture with that relationship, but I was also trained that way too, so that familiarity with routines and organization also helps. But tracking is a good way to get that habit started, get that 21-day habit started, like tracking your food, tracking your exercise, journaling, doing affirmations, saying your gratitudes. For 21 days is likely going to start that habit. And then doing it for 90 days is going to make it sink in and become a lifestyle. But I'd say probably a year before you can really say, when, I don't know if I finish, but to get results, usually you'll definitely see results after 4 weeks. Other people see results maybe after 8 weeks or something like that. But if you do that same thing that you're doing for your health for a year, people are really going to notice, and you are really going to notice, which is the number one thing. But yeah, making it a habit at first, stacking it onto other habits that you already do, making sure that you're not overwhelming yourself by starting 7 different things at once, like maybe a lot of people do at New Year's. At this time of year, they're starting everything. They're doing the exercise, they're getting up at 5 a.m, going to the gym, they're eating healthy, they're doing the gratitudes and manifestations, they're doing everything all at once, and it's just too much on the system. And generally people, there was a meme on Instagram the other day that about Seinfeld, and they had the cigar out because the gym owners just love January because everyone signs up for the gym and there's smoking the cigar and thinking, oh yeah, we're really making the gains here, and they know they're gonna fall off in February, unfortunately. But if you start, maybe give yourself a realistic goal of going twice a week or 3 times a week, rather than saying, I'm going to go 5, 6 days a week, no matter what, and I'm going to eat salad and yogurt, and that's it. And just you know what I mean? So I think consistency definitely requires that habit stacking, those clear, concise goals. Also knowing your why. Why are you doing it? Are you doing it for a reason? Are you doing it for your kids? Are you doing it for yourself? Are you doing it for love? Are you doing it for money? What is the reason, and what are the values behind it? And really dig into that why. Why do you want to do this? And a lot of times, lately, as we get older, going to the gym or exercising or eating well, all those things definitely are more important. Maybe not more important, but they just get, probably more important for your health. So when you're thinking of it as your overall health versus just how good you look, that should be a motivator, especially if you've had a health scare or your family has health problems and you have genetics that you're predisposed to certain things. that's probably going to motivate you even more to be healthier rather than just trying to look good in a bathing suit. And so that's an example, like, of why maybe you're going to the gym 6 days a week. Because you want to be healthier overall. And generally, people that go to the gym 6 days a week are probably going to dial in their nutrition because they know how hard it is to work off that whatever, or to like keep their heart healthy, in relation to that overall health thing I just said. But like consistency over time is going to do you better than going for the month of January all out. Consistency over time, doing it every day, putting something into your life every day. If we're talking about workouts, then finding something you love to do every single day that you can incorporate movement into your life, or yoga, like hiking, yoga, tennis, golf, hockey. The pickleball is getting popular. It's like finding something you really love to do, and then tying that back to your why. So this is also going to make me happier because I am with a community of people. So I get my exercise in, I get to be with a community of people, I get to make friends. And then that's likely going to motivate you to not like have 2 pieces of cake or whatever. So you get the idea. I think that's the gist of things, but when you start seeing those results, if you do stay consistent for that 21 days or that 3 months, that's why a lot of the programs that make you pay good money, you're paying good money, you're more likely to do it, right? And follow through with it. That's why that they make them longer so that you actually build those habits and they stick. So once you see those results, you're likely to keep doing it until you fall off at Christmas or something like that. But if you fall off at Christmas, but you're doing it all the rest of the year, and then you're like, oh, get back on, then that's still consistency. And if you're, for example, like with business, if you're doing the reels or you're doing the things you need to do every day, or the tracking or the food tracking or whatever, tracking of your business goals and your accomplishments, if you're tracking, you're more likely to keep up with it as well, because you can see the little wins and celebrate those wins too. That's another good way to stay consistent, is like celebrating what you've done so far rather than being like, oh, this isn't working, I'm not like getting to where I want to be, whether it's in business or in health, in fitness, in weight loss, whatever it is. So tracking is a really good idea. And I find writing it out, like I know we have all these apps and they're great because they can compute things for you, but like writing it out physically and seeing it visually also helps me, for example. So consistency is key, and it's key to long-term success. And you might be thinking, what is she talking about? What has she done but like my school career of going to school for so many years and creating the job that I have now, definitely took a lot of work and consistency, hard work, consistency of studying, staying focused, doing the work, getting the things in, and it was like 15 years of that. So it's definitely, hopefully worth it now, but it's an example of in ways that I've been consistent in my life. But I also find giving others, like kids, I work with kids, so structure and routine really helps them. They know when they come into my office, they sanitize, they know they sit down, they check in using the zones, and then we do the fun activities. So that is a predictable routine that we're going to do every single time I see them to provide them with that structure, routine, and consistency, which they tend to love. Same with when I run friendship groups. We do the same thing. We come in, we wash our hands, or we sanitize, we check in using the zones that I've taught them, and then we do the fun activity. So they're rewarded for doing all those steps. And I think that provides them with safety, consistency, and familiarity, so they know what's to be expected. All right, so the rest of the podcast, I'm going to do some gratitude manifestation, a meditation, and a numerology pull. So I just love to provide those things. So I think first we'll do the gratitudes. So I'm just going to read a quote from a book called The 5-Minute Gratitude Journal. And then there's no author because I got it from the dollar store, but I do like it. I'm just going to open to a random page. And the quote is, "For my part, I am almost contented just now. I'm very thankful. Gratitude is a divine emotion. It fills the heart, but not to bursting. It warms it, but not to fever." And that's by Charlotte Bronte. And then she has there's a little journal exercise here. So a person, place, or thing that makes my life happier. You can write about that or think about that for a second. And then someone whose presence makes my life just by being in it. Something that worked out much better than I'd hoped. Something in my life that makes it worth living. And the end quote is, "My life is full of wonderful things, and I am loving every minute of it." So, a quote of gratitude again. Okay, I'm just going to read a few manifestation quotes. Manifest Your Dreams. These are from a Manifest Your Dreams book, also from the dollar store, so no author. Sorry. But there are... So the first quote is, there are some of the quotes have authors, some do not. So, "A wise man knows the best time to begin is right now." Unknown. The next one is, "Friends are as companions on a journey who ought to aid each other to persevere in the road to a happier life." And that's by Pythagoras. And the last one ties into our topic of today. "Victory belongs to the most persevering." Whoa! Napoleon Bonaparte. Just a sec. Sorry about that. I am outside in a serene environment, and I'm going to do a tree meditation now. So, trees are very meaningful to me, and I just spent some time in the forest and went on a huge hike up a mountain, all the way down to the bottom of the mountain, and then back up the mountain. So this is fitting for me today. And this is a random one that I opened the page to. So in this practice, we connect with nature. There was a time when we humans lived our lives entirely as part of nature. And nature can still put us in touch with our true primal selves again, helping us to become one with the skies above and the earth below. Over time, this can lead to us feeling a deeper connection with Mother Earth and more motivated to do good to ourselves and all other living beings. And of course, it also does us good to be aware of ourselves as part of this great universe. Go to a park or wood and find your tree. For example, I have an old oak tree near where I live. Stand in front of this tree and gently touch its bark. Ask yourself how long it has been there. What has it witnessed over the years? My tree must be several hundred years old. Now lean against the tree, either standing or seated, so that you are touching it with one or both hands. Even when we are right up close to the tree, its roots are directly beneath us. Can you feel the life pulsing within the tree? Maybe, but it's fine if you don't. Now inhale deeply and mentally let your breath travel all the way down into your feet, and then deeper still right into the earth. Imagine the tree's roots absorbing the energy of your breath so that it flows into the whole tree. The tree sends this fresh energy up to the skies from where it comes back down to you in the form of air or rain, entering into you with each new breath. The cycle of life is constantly repeated. Enjoy your connection to nature and the purity of the breath until you feel you have drawn enough strength from them for today. Okay, that's it. So, a couple of things came up for me. I touch trees in the forest when I'm walking with my dog all the time. I like the arbutus trees. I touch the bark. Sometimes I do hug trees. I know that's weird, but it's known to be similar to grounding, like with your feet, with your socks off on the earth. When you hug a tree, you can ground your whole self as well. One thing that I noticed, and I didn't prepare this, I just read it now, but like thinking about its roots being directly beneath you, because roots get so big underneath you, that is kind of cool. And it's not something I would think about when I'm hugging that tree, that its roots are like so far under the ground and rooting me to like really far down. And the other thing is the tree sends this fresh energy up to the skies from where it comes back down to you in the form of air or rain, entering into you with each new breath. That's kind of cool. So there's a picture of a guy leaning against the tree, like really, like every part of his body is against the tree, sitting. It's kind of like a palm tree. Okay, lastly, I'm going to do a numerology pull. So I'm using the numerology guidance cards by Michelle Buchanan. I'm going to shuffle these and just naturally like choose a card that will likely be meaningful to you if you're listening, and most likely meaningful to me because I'm doing the reading. So like I said, I'm just going to shuffle the cards and say, what do we need to know right now as a collective? What's going on and what do we need guidance with right now? Probably hear the raindrops in the background. Hopefully it's soothing for you. Okay, I have a sensitive pull near the front today. 11, individuality. 11 is a lucky number, and it is January 11th today, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Actually, today's a really powerful day spiritually. It's a 1-1 day. January is month 1 and 11. So, all right, let me read to you what this means. This card indicates a need to embrace your individuality and be your true authentic self, rather than follow the crowd. You're being guided to break away from the pack and take the road less traveled. Instead of feeling like you're a square peg in a round hole, you're being encouraged to build your own square hole. By drawing this card, you are being called upon to step up to the plate and celebrate your uniqueness. At this time, you must have the courage to speak your truth and march to the beat of your own drum, despite the opinions of those around you. What others think of you isn't your business anyway, and it's impossible to please everybody. So you must focus on pleasing yourself. As you honor your individuality and feelings, you will reclaim your personal power and enhance your connection to Source. When you do so, you can make your dreams come true. In order to improve your current situation, you are being asked to adjust to and harmonize with the natural rhythm and cycles of your life, cycles that are encouraging you to embrace your individuality. As you step into your power as your true authentic self, you will improve your relationships with others and your overall quality of life. And the affirmation is, I embrace my individuality and become my true authentic self. So that one definitely is a good one to pull on January 11th. Also reminds me of something I've been thinking about lately too, with that consistency and building a business. It's important to be authentic and be yourself and do your own thing and do it in your own way, on your own path. I think when everybody's doing kind of the same thing as you want to somehow make it different so that you stand out, right? And the best way to make things different is to be your authentic self. That's also the way to your higher power and enlightenment. So 26, if that means anything to anybody. I hope you have a wonderful day. Stay calm, cool. Maybe not cool right now. It's fairly cold out, but cool, calm, collected, and serene. And I'll see you next time.